Hi everyone, we are back again today with another Apple Read Aloud. Okay, and then in Google Classroom, you are going to have a response, okay? And today, as scientists and readers, you are going to be reading to listen and to find out what apples can have and what can they make, okay? What are different things that apples can make? What are apples and what can apples do? All right, all set? Hope you said you bet. So how do apples grow? And again, today we're gonna read to just continue to grow our schema and figure out again some things that apples can have and what they make. All right. When you bite into a juicy apple, you're eating part of a flower. Fruit comes from flowers. Wait a second. So already on this first page, I am coming up with so many things that flowers have. They have, or what they are, sorry, they have flowers, or they are flowers, right? And they are fruit. Let's put that in our brain and lock it. In winter, an apple tree is bare. It's hard to imagine it's covered with flowers or fruit. But even in the cold and snow, tiny leaf buds and flower buds are waiting to open. Inside each leaf bud are tiny curled up leaves. Inside each flower bud are the parts of an apple flower. So again, now we have buds, we have flower, we have fruit. Apple flowers are pink and white, and sweet to smell. Each flower is the beginning of an apple. Okay, and we're going to see that in the springtime, very early spring. When spring comes, there are more hours of sunlight. The days are longer and warmer. The leaf buds open. Tiny green leaves appear on each twig. When the apple tree is covered with leaves, the flower buds begin to open. Up close, you'll see bunches of small pink and white flowers at the end of each twig. Each flower can become an apple, but all the right things must happen first. An apple flower has many parts, and each has a special job to do. Okay, around the outside are the sepals. They form a little cup to protect the rest of the flower. As the flower blossoms, the sepals open too. The pretty colored petals and sweet flowers smell, and they bring many insects and birds to the apple tree. These animal helpers are needed to make flowers to make the fruit, okay? And that's pollination, okay? And we kind of see the bee right here. When the bee is doing this, okay, or the birds, they don't know that it's an apple tree yet. They just think it's pretty flowers. At the top of each stamen, pollen is made. Pollen is a yellow product, a yellow powder. Each flower has thousands of pollen grains. Each grain of pollen holds different cells. Okay, then there's also a female part of the flower, which is called the pistil. You can see some of the pistil right at the center of the flower. The pistil has tiny tubes with sticky tops. At the bottom, the flowers are out of sight. These tiny tubes meet, the place where the tubes meet, okay? And once they meet, then basically that's gonna become the core of the apple. We talked about the core when we learned the parts, right? That's the inside hard part, right here. Okay, an apple can grow basically when the male cells and the female cells join together. Okay, basically when the pollen joins together. This sounds easy, but it's not. The apple flower can be fertilized only by pollen from a different apple tree. Since apple trees can't move, they can't carry the pollens themselves. This is why they need helpers, okay? So again, you're gonna have the bees and the birds that take the pollen, okay, from a different apple tree to the other apple tree. Bees and some of the apple trees some of the apple trees' best helpers. Bees are attracted to the colorful petals of the flowers. Then they smell the sweet flower juice, the nectar. Bees fly from tree to tree collecting nectar. They will use nectar to make honey. As the bees gather nectar, pollen grains stick to their bodies. When they land on the flowers of other apple trees, some of the pollen falls off. The grains of pollen land on the sticky tops of the tubes, okay? Then basically the male cells in the pollen grains travel down the tiny tubes, and then the flower becomes fertilized. Now the petals fall to the ground. The petals are no longer needed. They've done their job. Okay, so now that the petals have been fertilized, okay, they're ready to go, what is going to happen next? Call it out. Good. I hope that everyone's saying that basically the green apple is going to start. Good job, everyone. Okay, the flower has been fertilized and now an apple will begin to grow. It will grow right at the spot where the flower meets the stem. Okay, and I love these illustrations. They kind of show how it goes from flower to apple. As the fertilized apple grows bigger, it forms the apple's core, which holds the seeds. They will be well protected there, just like our organs, right? Around the apple, the rest of the apple is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the white fleshy part you can eat. Okay, so again, they have a core, they have flesh, they are flowers, okay? They are green apples first. All right, look at the bottom of a ripe apple. You can see that it's dried spetzels left from the flower. Wow, guys, and I didn't know that. So when you see an apple, the next time you see an apple, I want you to turn it to the back, to the bottom, and see if you can see the dried up flower. I'm gonna do that when I get home tonight. That's really cool. Okay, when the apple is cut open, you can see the seeds. So they have seeds. Look carefully and you will see 5 little compartments or sections. There may be as many as 10 seeds inside your apple. The seeds are the fertilized cells, okay? Apple seeds can now grow into new apple trees. The apple trees must feed the growing apples by using sunlight, water, and air. The leaves make a special kind of sugar. The sugar feeds the fruit. It takes about 50 leaves to make sugar for 1 apple. Okay, so this is why apple trees are so big, why there's so many leaves. All summer long, the apples grow bigger and riper. Okay, so again, they're gonna go from the tiny, tiny little green apples, they start to become ripe. When the fall arrives, the apples are almost ripe. During the last few weeks, the apples can feed themselves. They make their own sugar now. The sweet sugar makes the apple sweet. And we have Red Delicious, Macintosh. Sunlight helps the leaves and the apples to make food. It also helps to change the skin color of some apples. Different kinds of apples have different skin colors. Some turn red and some turn yellow. Some varieties of apples stay green, even when they are ripe. Okay, and we have the yellow apple, known as Golden Delicious, and the green apple, Granny Smith. So again, apples can be different colors. Apples can taste different. Some are sweet, some are sour. When the apples are ripe, it's time for picking. If no one picks the apples, they'll fall to the ground. Animals will eat some of them, and many carry the apple seeds to other places. Some of these seeds will grow into new apple trees. Some of the apples may just rot on the ground. After a while, they will become part of the soil. They will help to feed the tree. Okay, so again, if the apples don't get picked, they kind of fall to the ground, okay? And they become food or they become new apple trees. As the fall ends, the trees lose their leaves. New buds are already forming. They will be next year's apples. For now, the apple tree's work is over. For you, it's the best part. It's apple eating time. All right, guys, so I can't wait to see in Google Classroom what you come up with. Again, things that apples make. Maybe they make applesauce, they make apple juice, they make apple cider. Okay, things that apples have and things that apples are. All right, guys, keep up all the great work on your Apple unit. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Let's give ourselves a big fantastic. Fantastic. Bye, guys.